Mental block, people call it a mental block. It's really not a mental block, it's really an emotional block. But there is a mental element. So the mental part of it for us, as far as the mental aspect, is the awareness. And the identification. So what does that mean? So that means if I have a block, I need to be aware of what it is. I have to understand why I'm not getting this. So if I feel unworthy, then I identify it. If I feel nervous, Michelle said, right, because I don't know what to do with it, then I've identified. But I need to know what that is. I have to understand what is it about me getting this thing that is making me upset, or that is stopping me from getting it. What is my fear? Now you also have, because of your karmic energy, you may have other deep fears that you don't even realize are there. Like, wow, if I become successful, everyone will hate me. Right? That's another one. Well, if I get married, my friends won't talk to me anymore. If I start my own business, I'm going to be disconnected from everybody I knew as a kid. The other part of it that's difficult for us, and this is a big part of shifting energy, is when you start elevating, because that's what happens when you start creating, you're starting to move away from people that you've been with your whole life. So here's what ends up happening, and this is something that was really interesting that came up as I was doing this work, where one of my teachers would say, you have to stop lowering your energy to maintain your relationship with your family. That was a powerful statement. If you keep lowering your energy, my teacher Susan, she would say, you keep lowering your energy down because you know that once you start to elevate, you really can't have a relationship with them. But my guilty side, my Italian Catholic guilty side, was saying, lower yourself. That's more important than you being happy, is you having that relationship which you believe I'm supposed to have. So when I start elevating my energy and I realize, okay, you know what? For me to really do this, these people are going to be kind of left in the dust. It doesn't mean that you hate them or you never talk to them again, but you realize that there really is no connection there anymore. That's a scary thing for people. Regardless of what has been done to them. I have people who've been beaten, raped, everything. And they'll say, oh, and they're still talking about this person. And I'm like, you got to look at this for what it is. Emotional damage that's been done to you. You must accept what's going on here, because you can't elevate yourself. You have to accept the truth. Again, we don't want to judge anybody as good or bad, but I need to accept what's going on. So this becomes the mental part. Once I know what it is, and I say, okay, I feel unworthy. I feel abandoned. There's not that many. There's going to be fear. There's going to be abandonment. There's going to be unworthiness. There's going to be a discomfort of being in a different energy. You have to understand something also. You're always going to be uncomfortable in different energy for a while. I remember Joe Vitale and I had this conversation. You probably know Joe Vitale, who we talked about this many years ago. And he described it to me in a way, and he said, you know, I was interviewing him, and he said, it's kind of like when you were a kid and you spent the whole summer in sneakers, and then you had to buy shoes. And your shoes felt really tight and uncomfortable for the first couple of weeks because you weren't used to them. Yeah. That's kind of what happens going into new energy. Even if it's higher energy, you feel discomfort in higher energy because you don't know how to be there. Because you know how to struggle, you don't know how to be rich. You know how to be lonely, you don't know how to be in love. Right? So this is where you say, wow, I know how to do this. I'm really good at this part. I'm going to be lonely, broke, unhealthy, fat, sick, you know, I'm great at that. Right? No, because this is how life is, right? I'm really good at this stuff. But I'm not good at, you know, loving myself and being healthy and having money and everything being flowing. And I don't know how to do that. So it's kind of like asking you to do something you never learned how to do. It's like me saying to you, go play the piano. You never played the piano before. Would you be able to do it? Of course not. So the idea behind this is to say, the understanding, and I think this has been critical for all the work I've done on myself, is the understanding and acceptance of the discomfort is critical.